Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Touchdown Talk. It is week 7 of college football. Today is Friday, October 10th. Um, Another good slate ahead of us for tomorrow. If you follow my Twitter, then you saw my plays for tonight. But they're USF money line. Uh, Byron Brown. And just USF has some dogs. I trust them on the road in a big time place to go get a win. And then I have Washington minus 10. The Big Ten travel situation going 3,000 plus miles is hard on any team. I mean, you really come out of the gate sluggish and slow, and from um, that's what I expect from Rutgers. And so, pretty much, I think Washington and Damon Williams start hot and just kind of keep that train going. I think they get up by 2 scores, and I think they can hold that. I was flirting with the over a little bit, but it just kept going up, and it's at 62 right now, so I'm just not taking that. But those are my Friday night bets. Go follow my Twitter if you haven't. It's just Touchdown Talk College Football Edition. Um, but week 7, we have some big games, and I have 6 bets for y'all. Only 6 because I highlighted probably the 6 best games. Maybe missing like Florida and A&M, LSU, and South Carolina. But I'm leaving those out just because I'm undecided on those. But this video, we're going to get into my best bets and kind of predictions for the weekend. And then, there's really not too much big news out this week to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into it. My 11 o'clock kickoff is Alabama versus Missouri. Alabama gets a big win last weekend. Hey, I know you're saying it's Vanderbilt, but it's a big win. It's a revenge game. It's kind of the momentum game that I've been talking about to get you in the right position for winning the SEC, but also furthering your chances at college football playoff. And with Alabama, hopes of winning it. And so now you go to Missouri. You go to Columbia in what is probably Missouri's biggest game in I don't know how long. I don't want to say the Kansas State game from a few years ago with the walk-off field goal because this has much bigger implications for it than that game did. You have a quarterback in Bo Prabula who has really ignited your offense to be able to run and pass because you have Ahmad Hardy, the leading rusher in the SEC, who I said would be alongside Le'Veon Moss, and that rushing attack is lethal from those two because you have a mobile quarterback that can get out of a sticky situation, I guess you want to call it. And Alabama's good at pressuring. They'll be able to get back into the backfield all night. Or I guess all day, 11 a.m. This is a battle of the trenches, and I think Alabama's trenches are a little better. I think Ty Simpson has really blossomed into what everyone thought he would be. Um, and it helps thrown to guys like Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, just a bunch of assets, and you got Jam Miller back. I mean, this game should be fireworks, should be explosive, a lot of big plays, a lot of scores. But I expect Alabama to know what is on the line here because you can't sit there at a second loss and win out and really you can make a case at 10-2 obviously, but you can't afford much games after that if you drop this one. Now if you're Missouri, you're 5-0. You can lose one where if you keep it competitive and close, it's a quality loss. There's no such thing as a quality loss, but give me Alabama -3 in this game. I looked at this line at the beginning of the week and I said I'm surprised it's not a little bit more. I would have expected towards the 5 range, but you can't give that many points to a road team in this with these stakes. You just can't. And so Alabama -3. I know there's push opportunity there, but we take it and we ride. Next one, Ohio State against Illinois at Illinois, where Illinois got a huge win against USC on a walk-off field goal 2 weeks ago. And then gets a big win against Purdue last week, which they should have rolled. But we really haven't seen this Ohio State team in its true form, I feel like. And part of that is a young quarterback. It takes time to adjust to that. I feel like he's starting to come into form. Their defense has picked up where they left off last year. I think it's better than last year at this point. Ohio State, you've seen with some of these games, their first half is a little sluggish, a little slow, and then they turn it on in the second half. I really expect this week to be the week where they play a full, true game, where they actually show up from the first quarter to the second to the third to the fourth and just kind of establish, hey, we're the number one team. Okay, we're still the defending champs. Nobody's knocking us off the throne. It's us. And so you have experience on the other side of the ball with Luke Altmaier. But is it enough to really stay close with Ohio State? I mean, honestly, because you got killed against Indiana and scored 1 touchdown all game. It's going to be a raucous crowd. I mean, it's going to be crazy. But I think Ohio State quiets them pretty early, and I think Ohio State runs away with it. So give me Ohio State -14.5 there. I like it. I wish it would be maybe the point underneath 13.5. That would be, I mean, everybody would take that at that point. But it's this big of a spread for a reason. You got to think. Moving on to our third bet, 2:30 College Game Day out in Eugene, Oregon, for Oregon and Indiana. Curt Cignetti traveling across the country to play Dan Lanning, or to coach against Dan Lanning. This Oregon squad is better than last year's Oregon squad, and I was really high on last year's team. I had a future on them to win it. Unfortunately, that was shattered in the Rose Bowl in just outstanding fashion. But really, this is kind of a game to propel you to show, hey, there's really only 2 teams in the Big Ten, and it's us and Ohio State. I expect more fireworks out of this game, honestly. I think this game could soar over. Because you have 2 elite quarterbacks in Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. But Oregon's defense looks the part this year that they were missing last year. And it's showing right now. You get a big win at Penn State. Then you're kind of coasting against these other teams, which can, But I mean, before that, you were giving up 14 points a game, maybe. So I think this Oregon team is legit. We're going to say that every year, especially with Dan Lanning as coach. But I think that they really start fast and early against Indiana and just kind of pop them in the mouth. And if that's the case, then it's going to be a long game for Indiana. So that is what I'm banking on. This team I'm high on. Give me Oregon -7 there. It's hard to explain it, really, because Oregon, I don't even know. Oregon is more than a touchdown favorite in my eyes. I could take this spread up to 9.5, and it wouldn't surprise me. So, moving on, we have Texas at OU. Texas and Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. A game that is always crazy. Even if one team is not performing how they had lived up to be, I guess. And right now, that's Texas. Texas is a wounded animal with their back against the wall, having to fight and claw and scratch for every single win at this point. John Mateer status still up in the air, but this game I've seen if he doesn't play, it's Texas -5. If he plays, it's Texas -1. I think Texas has to have this more than any game this season, because if you lose this and you walk out of Dallas at 3-3, you can kiss the college football playoff goodbye. Straight up. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 3-3 through your first 6 games where you haven't looked good on offense in probably every game. It really turns some heads. It turns some heads away from you. And people could start writing you off. And they may if you lose this game. But I think Arch Manning comes to play. And he hasn't been coming to play the past few weeks. But I think this week is the week where we could see more of that hype around him. If not, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. It's over for Arch this season. Just get him developed for next year, because I don't really know if he would go pro after that. But Texas defense has to carry them in this game. And I think they know the implications, and I think they will. So I'm backing, as crazy as it sounds, I'm backing Texas at a pick 'em right now. So give me Texas money line to get their much needed win. Moving on, you got USC versus Michigan at USC. I've been high on this USC team all year. I've taken a lot of their overs, a lot of their spreads. Maybe pretty much every week except last, I've taken them. I'm taking them again this week. I think their offense is fervent. I think it is very good. Obviously, Jacoby Lane, Makai Lemon, Jaden Maeva. It's just an all-around sound and smooth offense where it can give Michigan some trouble in the secondary. And it should. It should. But at the same time, how does USC's defense get tested against a big rushing attack with Justice Haynes and Bryce Underwood? Is their front seven going to be ready for that? I mean, because if they're playing out of position once, then you can kiss Justice Haynes goodbye, and he's scoring for 7 every time. I mean, they're good at explosive plays. That's what Michigan's offense is this year. Is Justice Haynes will break off 50-yard rushes for touchdowns every game. But I think this game goes over, but I think it goes in USC's favor. I think they win on a last-second field goal. I think it's close. I think it's a nail-biter all game, back and forth, and I think USC gets the job done. I think this propels them into college football playoff talks. But I also just think it boosts their momentum, which they need after kind of a tough loss against Illinois. When you had it, you were up, you were back and forth, you were down. I mean, it was just an all-around game. So this is a get-right game. And so I'm backing USC there. Don't fail me now. We'll see. Moving on to my last game, though, we have Georgia versus Auburn. Night game in Jordan-Hare. Crowd is going to be rocking because it has to be. Because Hugh Freeze's future rides on this game. His future at Auburn rides on this game. Auburn comes in as the most sacked team in college football, and Georgia comes in with virtually no sacks. I can't remember if they had one against Kentucky last week or not, but they have no sacks. They get no pressure to the backfield. So if that's the case, and you give Arnold time to throw, that could be a win for your defense because he is not a proven passer this year with weapons like Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton, where all they want is the ball and let them work because you have a freak in Cam Coleman lining out wide and you get the ball to him 2-3 times. It's just Jackson Arnold has to step up in this game, but I don't know if he does. And I think it puts a lot of pressure on Auburn's defense. And I think Gunnar Stockton and this Georgia offense is better. Just looking at this game, why would you not take Georgia to cover? Let me know about down below if you disagree with me. But I see Georgia -3.5, and I say, yeah, they should cover that easily. I think Hugh Freeze is a coach with a back against his wall with his back against the wall in a wounded dog type of scenario. And so Auburn's fighting. They're just not getting the results, and I think this is the same way for this week. I think Georgia comes in, and I think they win by a touchdown to 10 points. Now, this over-under is 46.5. I don't like that. But if that's the case, I expect Georgia to be a 20-13, maybe even a 24-13 or 17 type of ball game. I think they win comfortably, and it doesn't take a lot from their offense, really. So that is all the bets I have. I will recap real quick. Alabama -3, Ohio State -14.5, Oregon -7, Texas money line, USC money line, and then Georgia -3.5. Big week of college football. Big for a lot of these teams on here because these are must win, much needed type of spots. Can you get the job done? So with that, I give you my bets, and I hope you tail because we've done well the past 4 weeks. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys tonight, and I will talk to you guys next week.